So I wanted to make this video basically just to showcase that context is all you need. And so I think that's an interesting title and an interesting subject to examine given the Phi model, which is based off of textbooks are all you need. Here I have the Phi model running, and then just briefly going over the code. It's real simple, just a few pip installs of transformers, and then this package that you need in order to run the Phi 1.5 model from transformers. And then my code is, the main code is importing two packages from transformers as well as torch, and then loading the model, loading it to GPU if available. In this instance, it's not available, so I can't show real-time examples because I utilize the free version of Google Colab, and then so at the moment it's not available for GPU. But you can see here, I give it context, and then for the prompt generation, I tell it to essentially take in the context as well as the prompt, and then use that to generate the output. And then this initial context that I give it is that you are a friendly and informative marketing, sales, and customer service assistant. Your primary purpose is to generate informative knowledge-based articles based on prompts, and then I give it kind of a response structure and guidelines for it. The reason I do this is if you've played around with the Phi 1.5 model at all, you know that it outputs kind of like in like textbook format. It'll be like exercise 1, exercise 2, exercise 3, and it really likes to stick to that format. It's really hard to get it away from that. And then so you could fine-tune the model. Fine-tuning the model is expensive, takes a long time. You could fine-tune the model, which takes a little bit less time, but still takes some setup, and then it's not as good as fine-tuning. And then so I figured, why not experiment around with just giving the model context? And then so in my experiences with this, I can get it to about what I would expect it to be with RAG fine-tuning just out of giving the model context alone. And then so just looking at the output from what we get from that context that I give it, you can see here that it gives the context, and then can you detail the full marketing life cycle? And then it gives a very good explanation of the marketing life cycle here. It's multiple paragraphs. And then at the end, it does still have this tendency to like spit out the story about Lily at times. And then so experimenting around with it a bit more, the next thing I prompt it is that to respond to all prompts and questions as the character Albert Einstein in a way that's consistent with his personality, values, and worldview. And then all of this is just reinforcing that the model should essentially respond as Albert Einstein and the personality of Albert Einstein, etc. And then when we go down here, I ask it, are you Albert Einstein? And then as Albert Einstein, I'm a renowned physicist who has made significant contributions to the field. It goes into its life as Albert Einstein. Essentially generates exactly what I was looking for. And then so again, if you're familiar at all with the Phi 1.5 model, the output that I can get from this, just from giving it this context here and then adjusting out the context in any way that I like, is massive, even for this model. And then so I think it's interesting as you go through, you don't have to like fine tune every time or even rag tune. This is, for me, what I found is a good place to start with it. It's giving it these contexts, and then from there, once it has the context, then going and further, like if you want to, then fine tune from there and then increase it. But this gives you like what you can expect the model to go towards if you were to fine tune it up front at the very least. So it's really interesting, easy to do. And then again, I'm doing this in Google Colab free environment, currently without GPU. So every time I do this, it takes about 5 minutes to respond right now. So if I were doing this live, that's why I'm not doing it live, because it would just essentially take the whole video time. But hope you guys like this. Hope you guys like playing around with the Phi model, and then play around with giving it context, and then play around with this model in multiple ways. Like the model is really interesting as far as the data that it's trained on. It's trained on like very scientific data and very academic data. So it's cool to experiment with that. But then it also has this tendency to spit out stories, which is, so if you've seen my other videos, the BART Phi model is based off of that concept and exploring that further. But this model overall is really interesting. I think there's a lot of potential for this model because it can be run locally. That's what I like about it, right? So whatever can be done on this model, even if it's not to the level of ChatGPT-4. The fact that you could run this model locally on your own machine and do whatever you want with it is what intrigues me about it. And it's really easy to train this model and do different things with it. So check it out. And if you like this content, please like and subscribe. Thank you very much.